It's not so much the actual what it is, the thing, it's the act. It's everything that comes with it, the things that people don't see. Like, you see the result. I think my art for me, and what I often forget myself, is the feelings you get while you're actually executing and doing it.
Cbabi, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yes, sir. Thanks for inviting me.
So this is the beautiful studio, huh?
This is it.
All right.
Not many people in here yet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I feel special, bro.
Yeah, man. This is where I hide, man. Nobody knows I'm here, so it's good.
We're going to keep it organic. All right, and just, you answer, just let me know a little bit about yourself.
All right.
I want to start off with this one right here, okay? What does art mean to you?
What does art mean to me?
Yeah, what does art mean to you?
I don't even know what it means to me, but it's something that I have to do. Like, it's something that, it's an experiential thing more than anything. It's not so much the actual, what it is, the thing, it's the act. It's everything that comes with it, the things that people don't see. Like, you see the result. I think my art for me, and what I often forget myself, is the feelings you get while you're actually executing and doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So, what or who would you say helped molded you into the creative that you are today?
A lot of examples for that, man. You know, and just given the times and given the day, it's not even art always, you know, because, you know, here we are dealing with what happened with my man Kobe. Like, those individuals like that are kind of what inspired me to do what I'm doing, especially now in the space I'm in, just in time and all that, and what I'm doing. Like, the result and the feeling and the words that I get from people is a result of me taking examples like that and being more conscious about acting on my gift. And when you act on it, these kind of things happen. And so individuals like that, and then the actual artists, Kadir Nelson and folks like that, who I see grinding, and at one time I thought I'd want to do like them, but it's not the actual, once I realized it's not what they do that I want to do, it's just how I see them, I want to feel and be seen. Like, I see them doing their thing and getting recognized, and just being able to survive on it, and more than survive, taking those examples. So it's not always just artists, it's just people who are, like, you know, classic men and women who are just doing their thing. That's who inspired me.
Okay, so would you say, like, situations like, speaking of the Kobe situation that just took place with, you know, our prayers to his family, of course, but speaking of that situation, would you say, like, even moments like that spark things in you as far as inspiration, even when you pay attention to his lifestyle and how much of a hard worker he was, to help push you and propel you to go harder at what you do?
Yeah, like even this morning, getting up a couple minutes earlier, and you might want to lay down there and look at stuff a little bit more. Just hearing the voice say, I think the one thing I saw this morning was, if you had to think about the excitement of getting up in the morning, you know, along those terms, you know, if what you do doesn't excite you, you might need to consider something else. And I was just sitting there thinking about, like, wow, like, yeah, I need to get up and I need to put in that work for real. Not that I don't, but there's times when I know I could be stepping it up a little bit. So yeah, moments like that, man, like when they talk about the whole mama thing, I was telling people it's not, you know, it might get tired of hearing it, but it's real. Like, we all got that mama in us. Like, we need to just drink the juice, man. Yeah.
And you know, when you said that about getting up and putting in the work, I remember you were working on a project, what was it, 365 days? Tell me a little bit about that, man. What was that all about? What was it motivated you to do that, and what was that whole 365 days about?
So 365 Days with Dad, I did that in 2012. And before I knew it was about fathers, I needed something to do every day to generate income. Just as an artist, like, it was just kind of slow. So I was like, how can I use social media? And I wasn't really tripping off it back then, like the power of Facebook and Instagram, but I figured that's some way that I could get to people and I could post something every day, and I could have the right price, because I had people always tell me they love my work. So I'm like, if I put something out every day and I had the right price, and if I could sell it every day at this amount of dollar times 365 is a good amount of living money. And so, okay, I got this daily project, and then I was talking to my wife, Rain, and she was like, you've been wanting to do the fatherhood thing for a minute, make that your subject. And then I was like, you know what? Yeah, because she's like, if somebody else does it, you're gonna be sick if they beat you to it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make it 365 fathers. And so I came up with 365 Days with Dad as a subject, January 1st. So I just jumped into it. I did, it took me 2 years though. Really? You know, so the first year I did 255. But yeah, just life happened and the stuff got in the way. But so that next year and 3 months was tough. More than anything, mentally, I'm beating myself up and fighting through that every day. Okay. So that in itself was a lesson. Okay. That even though all the fanfare and all the buzz had died and kind of slowed down, there were still some diehards that were just still there with me, you know, but, you know, numbers and stuff like that. So the whole thing about people now getting caught up in the numbers, like I was feeling all that back then. So I had to really dig in, but yeah, I got it done. So it started off about a means of being able to take care of family financially and just raise money, but it became bigger than that. So
I know for myself, man, when I get into work mode and I grind, and it's just like I get that tunnel vision, and I'm just going and going and going. You know, sometimes if we don't step back and get that proper rest or that proper care and really take care of ourselves, kind of take a toll on us. Did you experience that when you were doing it?
Yeah, I felt that completely.
Did you?
Yeah. Like I was drinking 5-hour energy, like few of them a day, really, bro? 2 or 3 a day, and I started drinking coffee too, and it was just crazy. Like even now, I don't sleep a lot, but I do make myself rest. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's real. Like I don't know. It's a trip because I was just hearing a conversation about what's my man's name that did Atlanta. What's the cat that created Atlanta? I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they were talking about how he doesn't sleep. You know, but he just has to continually grind, like he doesn't waste any minutes. And so I thought about that, and I was just like, okay, so it's not necessarily about staying up and constantly going grinding. It's about being more efficient and using your time better. So you don't waste as much time. Then when you take a pause to get rest, you know when you get up, you're gonna put in 100, 120. So when you stop, it's okay to stop and take a break. So I'm trying to learn that more. Like it's not about the fact that I work around the clock. It's like if I'm gonna do 8, it's gonna be a good 8. Right. You know? An uninterrupted and a very effective 8. Like I know what I can put out in 3 hours. I know what I can do in 8 hours. So if I do that every day, no worries.
Have you ever started a piece and you probably, I don't want to say you got distracted, but you started a piece and you stepped back from the piece and started working on something else, and probably took maybe a year or so, and because you kind of probably lost inspiration for that piece and came back to it. Have you ever done something like that before?
Yeah, usually I gotta stick with it while I'm in it, because really? I definitely will lose interest. Okay. Like I'm one of those, like if I started painting, like I gotta finish it. And I was thinking about that the other day, because it was like, I wonder if it's not even the painting and the subject that I'm working on. It definitely is the process. Yeah. Like, because as soon as I finish a painting, I want to start another one. And it's also kind of reminding me that I'm trying to teach myself and learn more about there is no end goal. Like our process right now, this is the gift. Yeah. This is the prize. Like to be able to do it, even the time, like the cleaning the brushes and all that stuff. Like that is the journey. Like that is the gift. Like that's the precious thing that. And anything about Kobe and anything else, like we get to do what we love. It comes with definitely a bigger responsibility, but Cat coming today, it was super cool, but he's coming to pick up the trash, in the truck, and I'm like, man, I don't have to do that. Like I get to get up when I want to, and I get to paint folks for a living, And there are other artists who wish they could sell anything. I was like, I gotta stop taking little stuff for granted. Like the fact that I could put something up and potentially sell it in an hour or 2 hours, 3 hours, or 2 days. Like everybody can't say that. So I was like, I gotta be more mindful of the gifts that I got right now. Like, yeah. So, but paintings, I got to finish them usually when I start them, or else the interest is gone. Yeah.
And so, what is your favorite piece, if you have one? Do you have a favorite piece?
When I go to schools and work on murals, kids ask me that all the time, and I always tell them this one right here, the one I'm working on, because this one has every other one in it, even if I don't see them. Like everything I've done is in this one, and including this one, going to the next piece, I'm always learning something from this one and pass on. So it's almost like push the dominoes. Like they got the very first one that fell, it's causing the last one to fall. Like they're all connected. Like so it's all. I love them all. Yeah. And when one doesn't work, it's just not supposed to work. So I just cover it up.
So when you say one doesn't work, how can you? For me, I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at it, it's like it looked like it's working to me. So when you're looking at it, the piece, is it something that you feel, or is it something just visual that says it's not working? Or
yeah. So where I am now, it's a feeling.
okay.
Yeah. If I'm working on something, sometimes I have to just go up and put paint on my fingers. I don't even know why I do stuff, but I have to make marks. And then something happens, and it's like, okay, now I like where this is going now, and I can intuitively make changes, you know. But yeah, if the vibe, where it's going, and this is my own work, not necessarily for a client, but if it's working on my own stuff, I know when it's vibing or not. And if it's not, and if it's causing too much turmoil in me, I either have to turn around for a while, and sometimes I just say, grab paint and just start covering it up.
I got you.
It's gone. No, now I don't even stress over it no more. Now I just start fresh. So, yeah.
So let me ask you, bro, how hard has this journey been for you, man? Because I know it's not easy. So how long, first of all, how long have you been doing this?
95.
Since 95. So I need to ask you that.
Yeah.
You know what, that's crazy, man. So you started in 95, huh?
Yeah.
I started in 95.
That's when I graduated Grambling.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
So how hard has this journey been for you, man?
Super hard. Yeah, because it's not, I had no roadmap. You know, the school I went to didn't have business class.
Okay.
Or it wasn't connected with the art department. I just had to wing it, you know. So I have a lot of insight to give younger cats now, or folks that want to get into it, but actually going through it, yeah, it's definitely been, there's been some hurdles. Okay. You know, but yeah, I wouldn't trade any of it because all of it's made me, so, but it's definitely been some hurdles.
So that goes into my next question. My next question I wanted to ask you was, what's a piece of advice that you would give a young black artist coming up right now? What's a nugget or a jewel that you would share with them?
There's just no magic to it. Like the actual art of it itself, practice. You know, because a lot of folks, you know, especially Instagram, there's a lot of people that are putting pieces out. And I'm not usually one to judge or this, that, and the other, but you definitely got to put in the work. And I'm not necessarily big on college and all that, but if that's the route they're trying to go, I'm like, especially younger cats, if you know you can draw, because I didn't start till college. I didn't really trip off school. I went to a junior college. And I kind of got the bug there from another guy, and then went on to Grambling and continued the bug. I would say that put yourself in a space where people are sharing that energy, even if it's a community college. But if you're in high school knowing you want to go, that's the route you want to go, shoot, don't waste your time. Like, put in the work. Like, people need to see it. You shouldn't have to tell me that you're interested in art. It should be bleeding out of you. It should be all over your clothes. Like, I should be able to be like, oh, you ain't got to tell me what this cat's into. Yeah. If it's photography or whatever, the camera's always around the neck. Yeah. But put it out because you don't know who's watching you. And your teacher might have connections. Or you can find yourself in a school. Like, if you want to go to college, don't just go anywhere. Go somewhere where they actually value the field you're interested in, because they'll bring in people who are professionals. Because often what got to me, what didn't rub me right at Grambling was, and it wasn't the teacher's fault, but I was just realizing that these cats weren't professionals in the field.
I got you.
And I noticed that when I looked at people who were professional artists, a lot of them were going to become art professors, and I had no interest in teaching. I was like, what about these cats that are like in New York or here, even though their life was hard and I didn't know that outside looking in, like a lot of times they never had money, but you saw these big studios and all this, but you don't realize the gallery on the studio. Yeah. Like, knowing all that kind of stuff now, like, don't just know for real what's happening.
Right.
You know, if you can live meager, you can do this.
Yeah.
You know, but it's gonna take work, and be willing to be humble and do something during the day that you don't really enjoy, so that at night you can jump into this and just know that you just got to put in the work.
Yeah.
There's no timeline on when anything's gonna happen or pop off, or if ever. You just got to be willing to do it for free and just do it.
Okay.
Do it because you have to, and then something will happen.
That's true passion, man.
Just got to do it because you have to, man.
Yeah. We're gonna shift gears a little bit. I want you to tell me what's the day in the life of Cbabi? What does the day start off like from the beginning to the end? What does that look like?
Oh man, so usually I'll get up and I will either eat first, or I got a weight loss app on my phone.
Okay.
It's 15 minutes.
What is it? What's the name of it?
Straight up, weight loss for men.
I need that one.
It's an app for 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's a little cardio and then ab work and then just body resistance, and I'll do that. And now, every now and then I'll, if I get up earlier enough, I'll go up the road to the gym and get on a treadmill. But then eat something decent. Right now, either oatmeal or eggs and veggies. And then wherever I'm at, gig-wise, mural-wise, I'll head there. If my kids are with me, I'm dropping them off at school and then doing that, or vice versa. I'm going throughout the day at my job or whatever site I'm at, and I go pick them up, go home, eat, and then whatever's on the easel, the portrait, or if I have the itch to just create something. So I'm usually working around the clock. I take out time to commute with the kids and a little bit of nourishment, but other than that, usually working between when I wake up and when I sleep.
How many kids do you have?
I had three. 2 boys and a girl.
All right, cool, awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, Cbabi, outside of this creative space, man, what are some other things that Cbabi's into? What else are you involved in outside of the arts itself?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So besides going to the movies every now and then and loving live music, and I still don't do that enough either. But I just told myself that, honestly, for 2020, for this year, I'm almost treating this like a boot camp and being very efficient with my hours, but putting in as many hours as possible and just seeing what can happen, and so that I could pass on the experience of what happened. But this is my job and my hobby at the moment. Like, I don't do a lot outside of it. Like, I literally get a lot of pleasure from the process. So, yeah, this is pretty much what I do.
All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to tell us something about yourself that folks don't know or wouldn't even believe about Cbabi.
Wow.
If you can share it. Dig deep, bro.
I wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that I'm very self-conscious.
All right.
And believe it or not, still with my art at times insecure.
Really?
I was sharing it earlier, that all my mural gigs, I usually freak out coming up with the design. Like the actual working it out and process and paint it, pretty much effortless at this point. It's like walking. Like, I know how to use the materials, but coming up with the design, I don't know if it's because I have too much in my head and too many ideas. But yeah, I think people will be surprised how insecure I get about coming up with ideas and concepts. Like, that's a real struggle for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't show it when I'm working because you don't see it. Like the current mural I'm working on, when I got to it, the wall was bigger than I thought, and the layout of the room didn't work for the sketch I had. So the idea that I had to do it, I had to come up with the idea on site. It freaked me out for a second. But then when I get out of my head and get out the way, and I just start acting, like a couple hours later, it's on the wall. So when I tell people that it's worse to think about it than to do it, that's something I tell myself. Like, to think about it is often terrible. Whatever it is, it drives me nuts, and fear and everything. But if I stop thinking and just pick up pencil, brush, whatever, and go, it happens.
Yeah.
But if I stay here, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get really insecure.
That's the life of a true artist, man.
Yeah, man.
So, we know that representation matters in our community, right? So, do you feel like you are that representation in this artistic space for the younger generation, and why is that personally important for you?
Art's not in our culture so much. Our parents, one, financially or just out of exposure, we just don't buy art or get into it. So I think it's real important for not just kids, but adults and folks our age to see folks like me doing something like this. Not even just a subject that I'm painting, but just me physically doing it. We just don't see it. So we need examples that there's things that we can do outside the box, things that that bring us joy could possibly be the thing that help you take care of your family. But unfortunately, it's just, I don't want to say it's our nature or just the way culture has been designed. It helps if you see somebody that looks like you doing something for you to get a little, the ringing of the bell, like, oh, wait a minute, there's something that might be able to be possible or happen. And definitely with kids now, and unfortunately, the school system and this, that, and the other, and the kids that haven't been in school, I think it's okay to see that you can still you can still create a life for yourself, regardless of what people have said. It won't be possible based on your circumstance of how you grew up. Like that ain't matter. Like there are examples out here to prove that you can make stuff happen. So when I think about that, yeah, that's what I think. So in that instance, I think it is important because we just don't see it. Even hearing that young 12-year-old girl, that video people are putting out about, activists about gun violence. This 12-year-old girl saying that everybody we see on TV are white girls and white folks, and they're getting all this praise. But she's like, women and people and girls and people of color have been fighting this fight forever, and they don't get no love or whatever. And we can't rely on that. It doesn't matter. But folks just need to know that we care and we see things and that we live a certain way and all that. It matters. Yeah, it definitely matters. Yeah.
So when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, how would you want for Bobby's name or legacy to be remembered?
More than anything, first they dedicated dad. Okay. And then back that up with that. The way he took care of it was by living his passion, and he just wanted to be an example. He didn't want to just say what you can do, but show it. And so that's my thing, like letting people see through action what can be done, not just talking about it. Like, if I'm not here or, whatever, you can't hear my words or whatever, that the art speaks for itself. And then I'm not even about it selling, like the fact that hopefully in a brushstroke you can see that, okay, this cat cared about what he was doing and about the images he was putting out. So it mattered, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, man, that's pretty much going to conclude the interview. I did come bearing gifts.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it, man.
All right. So I bought you a little something. Check that on out.
You got your own razor too?
Oh yeah, man. I had to take care of you. It's a gift, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
We got some good stuff in there.
Oh, I use it every day, man.
Yeah,
I use that cream and stuff on my head. I appreciate it.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something though, bro. I'm gonna end it with this, man. You are the true definition of a classic, man, in my eyes, and I appreciate you. You are honored from our family, from the Rance John family, man, and from the TCM family. We really appreciate you, bro. You are the true definition of a classic.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Right on. All right, my name is Cbabi, and I'm a classic man.